Garrigan, Pat Garrigan and Lisa Day attend BMCC. Thomas McCullough, Scotty Sabrina McCullough, attend college and start his career in nursing. Ethan McCamey, play in Bristol McCamey, go to college and get an education. Marco Alvarez, Mark and Gracie Alvarez.
1-2.
You can BMCC then Joe Gutierrez Jr., Joe and Lori Gutierrez, go to college somewhere and study kinesiology. Jose Hato, Maria Garrido, go to university and study accounting. Jonathan Himmel, Rick and Angela Ingridson, go to college and play football and get an education. Cole Campbell, Brett and Cheryl Campbell, attend Arizona State University. Peter Earl, Derek and Beth Earl, to go on a mission and go to college.
Do you need any of these? Last game,
No.
season, and league?
19 Bulldogs in purple uniforms out at midfield, the 4 captains, and then their 15 senior teammates behind them at the hash mark, watching as the coin flip with the Redmond captains. Higher tonight. This is one of them old strong Umatilla County wins.
Yeah, it is. A nice little cool, actually cold wind, even though it says about 50 degrees temperature out there right now, but it is a stiff wind out there and a little bit of a nip in the air. Looked like Redmond won the toss and deferred, Eric.
And Hermiston's going to receive the kick. They will take the wind in the even-numbered quarters, so they'll be going into this wind right to left towards the west end zone to start us off here in this game. We've still got the national anthem to go as we get closer to kickoff here tonight from Hermiston High. And before we take a step aside here for a second, on the Dan's West Coast Auto Glass scoreboard, we take a look through the IMC tonight. Pendleton is at Bend. It's a must-win for Pendleton. Mountain View is at Hood River Valley. The Cougars lock up the IMC title with a win tonight. And Summit is at Ridgeview. Summit with a victory puts themselves in a good position to chase down Pendleton. If Pendleton and Summit finish the season tied, and Pendleton is a game up on them right now in the IMC standings, Summit would be into the postseason and Pendleton would be out by virtue of Summit's win in Pendleton earlier in the season. We'll take another break here on the Swim Motors pregame show. Kickoffs next on AM 1360 KOHU.
As well as the men and women around the world for protecting our freedom and remembering those who paid the ultimate price for protecting this great nation. With the flag of this evening's national anthem by the Hermiston Marching Band and the direction of Mr. Shaw McConaughey.
I'll do what do you want to see coming out of the break?
What's that?
I'll do what do you want to see coming out of the break?
Okay.
Don't forget, you can play Pigskin Pick'em. It's brought to you by Devitt Oil Circle K with us each week. We play it during the Weimar Bulldog Tailgate Show here on KOHU. You can play by going to the Circle K on Highway 395, or probably the easiest way, to be honest, log it on to gohermiston.com. You just make 12 picks. It is free, and you could win prizes each and every week. It is going to be Hermiston's offense that starts with the ball attacking right to left against the Redmond Panthers. Bulldogs looking for win number 6 on the season. And for the Redmond Panthers, they are trying to get their second on the year. It's going to be the offense with the ball first. What do you want to see from them tonight?
I want to see us being able to go ahead and establish the run game and just establish that, yes, we're going to run it down your throats. That's what we need to do. We need to go ahead and continue to do that. And if we can run the ball effectively all night long, we can shorten this game, and it's not going to matter how well we pass into the wind.
The kick is away and towards Giovanni Razzone, who takes it at the 12, left side. Moving to the middle of the field, has a block at the 20. Comes out to the left side at the 35. 40 breaks another tackle down the near sideline, 50. 45, 40, 35. He got tripped, but he stays in bounds. Down to the 15, 10. Finally pulled down from behind on the Hermiston sideline. Razzone's return gets the Bulldogs all the way down to the 8-yard line. That is one way to make it a very desirable starting position for your offense off of the kick return that goes for 80 yards.
Yeah, nice job that time by Razzone, going from our own 10 all the way down to the 8-yard line. Picked up a couple of real key blocks and was able to go ahead and just follow them right along.
First and goal, Andrew James with Jonathan Hinkle behind it. Will hand it to Hinkle, running to the right side. Hinkle out to the edge, outside the numbers at the 5. Puts his shoulder down, barrels over a defender into the end zone. Touchdown, Bulldogs. It's an 8-yard touchdown run on the first offensive play of the game, and the Bulldogs are up in front just 23 seconds into the contest.
And that's what you want to see. You want to see that, being able to go ahead and control this football game. Jonathan Hinkle took the pitch outside, was able to go ahead and follow it all the way down inside, and just did a great job of being able to pick that blocker off.
Hinkle's 7th touchdown run this season. Last week he had 141 yards and a touchdown on 16 carries. Deshaun Neal's kick is up towards the right goalpost. It sneaks in out of the hold of A.J. Tuya. It's good to see Tuya on the field because he got shaken up last week a couple of times, and he was questionable coming into tonight, but he has the green light to go. And Hermiston, green light to Giovanni Razzone to get him down into the red zone. After one kickoff return and one play, it is 7-0 Hermiston, 11:37 on the clock. We didn't even really get a chance to introduce this offense. Andrew James, the junior quarterback, a week ago, 211 yards passing on 11 of 15 throwing with an interception and 3 touchdowns. For the season, he's thrown for over 1,300 yards, 14 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. Completion percentage better than 61%. And over the last 4 or 5 weeks, since the Mountain View game, he has been able to manage this Hermiston offense, pick his spots, make those short, quick passes, and then hit deep balls with a little bit more regularity.
Yeah, and the last couple of weeks he's been able to show, how well it works whenever you can hit Deshaun Neal in stride. The opening touchdown for Hermiston last week against Bend. Hit that, or the second touchdown, hit that long touchdown reception to Deshaun. Never broke stride, and nobody got close. In fact, nobody got close to the 3 Hermiston receivers that chauffeured him in.
Deshaun Neal will punch one low, and it'll go through the hands of the running back, Jack Taylor. Goes back to get it inside the 10. He'll come across the 15, and on the right hash mark near the 18, Taylor is pulled down. And in there on the stop for Hermiston is Adrian Mendez. Mendez, to give you an idea of how much Hermiston shifts people around as they try to find the right fit for everybody, started the season in a number 51 jersey and now up to number 34 so he can get some carries at times. It's a weird offense. It is essentially 2 different options in the backfield. Kamano Troutman to the right. He's going to take the snap, direct snap, running left side. Troutman's going to get to the line of scrimmage and be spun around and down as he was pulled down on the play by A.J. Fernandez, helped out by Cody Weisner. Those two get the start in the interior with Taylor Arnold and Keaton McCamey at the defensive ends. Tyler Rorman and Giovanni Razzone are the 2 cornerbacks. The middle linebackers are Peter Earl and Jonathan Hinkle. Joey Gutierrez, the strong safety, Deshaun Neal, the free safety, and A.J. Tuya. It's going to be an end around, looking to throw, deep ball down the right side by Hester, incomplete, looking for Jack Taylor, underthrew. Check that, not Taylor. But the intended receiver on that one was Justin Kettle, and he was underthrown by about 12 yards. So it's a 3rd down and 9 facing Redmond with 10:54 on the clock. Here in the first quarter, Hermiston's in front 7-0. We'll get into the story of this Redmond offense a little bit more detail. Clayton Elrod is onto the field now. He is a senior. He stands to the left of Troutman. Troutman also a senior, 6'1", 180 pounds. Troutman calls the snap. It's low. He's going to bobble it, turn around, pick it back up, rushing to his left. He'll evade one tackler, stuck in the backfield, trying to weave around Hermiston defenders. Now he's got an opening out to the right side at the 15. 15 towards the 20 and pulled down. Great open field tackle. Deshaun Neal. His tackle, check that. That was Tyler Rorman, excuse me. I saw only the 1 and I didn't see the 6 initially. And he's got the sleeves on tonight, but Rorman makes a great open field tackle and stops Troutman for a 1-yard scramble. He ran about 65 yards on the play, but he got 1 yard, and it's 4th down and 8. Redmond's going to have to punt.
You know, and that's the type of thing you want to do. Hermiston did a very good job of staying very disciplined back there, Eric.
Andrew McCaig will punt from his own 5. Deshaun Neal's back to receive. He'll let it bounce at the 45. Cuts towards the Hermiston sideline, so Neal's got to let it roll, and it rolls and rolls inside the 30. It's got the wind behind it, so it's going to keep pushing inside the 25. And if Redmond was smart, they wouldn't actually stand around it, let more wind get to the ball. It rolls all the way down to the 23-yard line. Tonight, more than any, and Deshaun Neal he's too far back to receive that punt. That ball bounced at the 45, and Redmond gets an extra 22 yards of roll out of that. Hermiston loses 22 yards of field position just because they didn't catch the punt. It's something that has bugged both of us all season long.
And he had plenty of time, especially with as much as that wind, plenty of time to come forward to get that ball in the air, Eric.
1st down and 10 for Hermiston, attacking right to left. Andrew James, pistol set in the backfield. Hands off Keaton McCamey, running to the left side. McCamey out to the edge at the 30, and he is tripped up on the side by Cooper Browning to the 31-yard line. McCamey, a nice 70-yard run. It is for him after a week where he had 2 carries for 13 yards and a catch for 9 yards against the Bend Lava Bears. 2nd down, about 2. Peter Earl is behind Andrew James. The junior quarterback slaps his hands together, takes a high snap, hands off McCamey again, running left, cuts back to his right across the 40, down the left hash mark. He will rumble for a Hermiston 1st down up to the 41-yard line, gaining 9 yards on the carry, gaining 10 on the carry.
Nice job that time by McCamey again. You know, Hermiston's getting that good north-south running game going early tonight, Eric, and that's what we want to see. We want to see that hard dive play going into the middle.
Earl is still the deep man, and James will play action. Look to throw near side. Now he's stuck, spins away from it, goes out to the right side. James is pulled down from behind. He loses a yard on the play, but it could have been a whole lot worse than that. The evasiveness of Andrew James has been on display all season long. That's the 96th time he'll go into the books as a rush, and he has 642 yards rushing. He actually has more yards rushing than even Jonathan Hinkle, Hermiston's primary back in the backfield.
Yeah, that time Redmond had that little bubble screen sniffed out that we were trying to run.
2nd and 11. James takes a snap. Hands off. It's Earl running to the left side, tripped up from behind at the 45-yard line. Diving play made by John Crivoloni. And the senior inside linebacker has got a tall task because he is wearing number 33. And in Redmond, number 33 has been a pretty special number. Cougar Smith the last 3 seasons at the varsity level, a tremendous linebacker and running back. 3rd down and 6 facing Hermiston, up 7-0 with 7:42 on the clock. James looking to set up a screen, dumps it over the middle, picked up by Neal. Neal at midfield, stiff arms a man at the 45, out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Get him all the way down to the 38, they say, as he was ushered out of bounds by Henry Chambers, and the Bulldogs have it into Redmond territory with the 1st down.
17-yard that time on the pickup, Eric, and did just a great job of Hermiston picking up that 1st down. That stiff arm of Deshaun's just absolutely a post out there.
First and 10 for Hermiston. Left hash mark set from the 38. James takes a snap, fakes a handoff, and he'll keep it himself. Running to the left side, breaks one tackle. He's at the 35, near sideline 30. Two Panthers sandwich him and slam him down just by the Hermiston sideline. But it was still a scramble of 8. And Hermiston's got a second down and short coming up for them. Crevoloni's in the interior linebacking core along with Colton Fulston and Clayton Elrod. Henry Chambers is one safety. Cooper Browning is the cornerback on the near side. They've had to make some changes. Bryce Wabi is out on the far side playing quarterback. Handoff, Jonathan Hinkle running right, breaks a hole. There's a flag out as Hinkle runs right over the top of a linebacker and down to the 15-yard line. It's a 15-yard run, but it's probably coming back based on where that flag came from the umpire.
Yeah, it looked like they were going to call Hermiston on a hold on the outside there from where the flag looks like it was.
First listen.
Holding on the offense, number 72. 10-yard penalty from the spot. Repeat the down. Still second down.
So it'll stay second down. It is holding from the spot, and Hermiston is moving backwards to the 40-yard line. And second down and 12 faces Hermiston now with 6:53 on the clock in the first quarter, and the Bulldogs up by a touchdown. They ran one offensive play on the opening drive. It was an 8-yard Jonathan Hinkle touchdown run after Yabani Razone had an 80-yard kickoff return. Hinkle to the left shoulder of James, who's got two receiver options to his right. Now sweep play. It's a handoff to Neal, who bobbled it. Now he has it out to the left side at the 35, turns upfield at the 30, pulled down at the 27-yard line. Deshaun Neal bobbled it as he took the handoff from Andrew James, but eventually he was able to run for 13 yards, and he'll move the chains for Hermiston on a first down carry.
You know, a little bit of trickery about what David Fatete wants to do. He likes that little counter trap play with Deshaun coming back, and it does wonders for Hermiston's speed.
Neal's in the slot right, low snap, picked up by James. He's going to run himself to the left side, pulled down as he gets inside the 25, down to the 23-yard line. Hanging on was the defensive lineman, Jack McKenzie, who's only a sophomore out there. Redmond has seen injuries, and they've been most prominent to their linemen. It's one of the reasons that Gene Dale's team has only 2 levels in their program. They started with 3, but they just don't have enough linemen to play JV and freshmen. Second down and 6, and James will play action, rolling out to the right. Deep ball for Neal, spins back to his right at the goal line. It is out of his hands.
Oh, man, right in the hands and dropped out.
And I wonder if that one was knocked out. It looked like closing down on him was Bailey Fisher, and the senior linebacker might have been able to swipe his hands across Neal's as the ball got into his breadbasket and knock it out. But because Redmond has a lack of linemen this season, as their numbers are a bit low, it means that earlier today they played a freshman-sophomore game here on Kennison Field. Hermiston won that 48-15 as we take a look through the Dan's West Coast Auto Glass scoreboard. Third down and 6. James from the 23 will hand off. It's McCamey running left, bounces to his left side, spins off a one tackler down to the 18-yard line. It's not going to be enough for a first down, but it is 4th and short for Hermiston. They're going the direction into the wind right now, and this would be something on the lines of about a 35-yarder as it is. So Hermiston will go for it on 4th down and short. 5 minutes left in the first quarter, leading 7-0. Luke Walshley is wide to the right side. Neal will come to the short side of the field left along with Tyler Rorman. And Hermiston, well, hold on. The white hat has stopped the clock. And is it maybe a Redmond man who is shaken up? There's some type of equipment malfunction, and so Redmond is going to have to sub off Jack McKenzie and fly onto the field Cody Kluser. Same setup, 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Hinkle behind James on 4th and 1. Hinkle right down Broadway, bounces off a 1, down to the 15, has the first down on a 3-yard scamper.
Eric, the last play before that, McCamey was not there. He's still a tight. It was Joey Gutierrez that picked up that 4-yard gain off to the left side. You know, that's one of the advantages that Hermiston has. They have so many guys that they can shuffle in at that H-back or the running back that it absolutely makes things work well for them.
Trips formation to the right. Peter Earl to the right shoulder of Andrew James on 1st down and 10 from the 15. It is Earl coming to the left. He sheds one tackler inside the 15. He'll get down to the 12.
Inside the 15, down about the 13-yard line. And stop the Panthers, number 4.
Browning another tackle for Redmond. Under 4 minutes left in the first quarter. At a 7-0 lead for Hermiston. Bulldogs try to add on to it here on their second drive of the game. Earl behind James, who's at a pistol set. Quarterback takes a high snap. Play action, rolling to the right, pressured that way. He gets away from the pressure. He'll run himself out to the 10. He leaps over the top of a tackler and is pulled down to the turf by Connor Buck, but not before James gets down to the 6-yard line. It looks like he will be just outside of the yard to gain for a first down.
Yeah, that time Andrew did a good job of reading it, you know, picking up 7 yards on that run there. Hermiston looks like, you know, looked like they were going to bring in their power package, but ended up with Joey Gutierrez up there, it looks like, in the fullback spot.
Gutierrez to the right shoulder. James, who takes a high snap. He's going to run it again himself. Comes back to the left, and this one's going to be snowed under for a loss of a couple. Bunch of shirts there, but it was Buck who got there first. Again with Fisher for Redmond. Another 4th down and short for Hermiston. The first one was 4th and 1. This is 4th and 3 from the 8-yard line on the right hash mark. 2.5 minutes left in the first quarter, and the Bulldogs up by 7. A little bit of time to get this play in. Kind of feels like tick, 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 tick. You got to get going. James with Earl to his left shoulder. In motion, Neal. Hand off to Neal. Neal sweep out to the left side. Gets to the edge. He's at the 5, to the goal line, into the end zone, just inside the pylon. 8-yard touchdown run. It's the second touchdown run of the season for Deshaun Neal.
You know, that's the nice thing about the speed. You started off in that little counter on that fly sweep like that, and if you get the one block, he'd got outside, then he's got the speed to get the corner, and that's what you got to have. Get that corner, and it's all over.
Second 8-yard touchdown run of the night for Hermiston. Now Neal with the extra point. 2:06 left in this first period. The right-footed kicker out of the hold of Tuya. Tuya gets the snap put down, and Neal kicks it through. 14-0 Hermiston with 2:06 left in the first. You're listening to Bulldog Football on AM 1360 KOHU.
Fernandez, Sunset Stars.
Deshaun Neal, Highland Community Charter School. Go Cars.
Joey Gutierrez, D, Highland Hills Huskies.
Thomas McCullough, West Park Elementary. Go Wildcats.
Jacob Levy, home of the Desert View Coyotes.
Andrew James, Rocky Heights Elementary.
My name is Taylor Arnold, and I went to Rocky Heights Elementary School.
Tyler Rorman, Highland Hills Elementary School.
Yvonne Ruzon, McNary Heights.
Jonathan Hinkle, Highland Hills Elementary.
Garen Anderson, West Park Elementary School. Luke Walshley, Desert View Elementary.
Cole Campbell, Highland Hills Elementary.
AJ Tuya, Highland Hills Elementary School.
Keaton McCamey, Rocky Heights Elementary School.
Jordan Ramirez, Sunset Elementary.
Cody Wisner, Ebner Elementary School.
Bill Blake.
Couple of rushing touchdowns in the first quarter, and Hermiston has a 14-0 lead on Kennison Field at Bulldog Stadium. 2:06 left in the first. Up on top of Bulldog Stadium, Eric Olson and Sonny Levy with you from the Old West Federal Credit Union broadcast booth. Deshaun Neal will squib one near sideline, bounding around, picked up by Browning. Browning thought left, now he'll come back right, break one tackle, and he'll be shoved out of bounds into the Hermiston sideline. Right around the 38-yard line. Return of about 8 yards, and Redmond gets their offense back out onto the field.
Yeah, it looked like that time on the tackle it was Miguel Franco in on the push out for the Hermiston Bulldogs on the sideline that time.
So for the Redmond Panthers, sustaining a drive, moving the chains, and honestly eating some clock. It's one of the things that Bend was able to do successfully, and Ridgeview down in Redmond as well. 2 receiver options left. Kamau Troutman is in a pistol-looking set with Jack Taylor behind him. He'll turn and hand as Taylor running to the right side. Taylor slowed up, hit by Tuya, and pulled down as Tuya is helped out by Taylor Arnold to finish the tackle, and it's going to be for a loss of 2 yards. Back to the 30, well, they'll say a yard, back to the 37-yard line.
Nice job that time of Hermiston not overreacting and not over pursuing, and that's what we need to have. Just have to be disciplined out there on the corners with this type of a single wing.
So Elrod, the quarterback, is back in, but he is going to be behind a Troutman on this play. 2 options to the left and 1 out to the right side. Troutman turns and hands off. Elrod will run it. Left side hammered hard. Came into the hole, and filling that hole and smacking Elrod was Cody Weisner. Shed a tackler, got into that open hole, and closed it off. 3rd down and 9 facing Redmond with 1 minute left in the first quarter.
And then coming up to support, Jonathan Henkel, as he's always been, is right there as supporting on the tackle.
3rd and 9. 2 receiver options to the right. For Troutman, he'll stay in the pistol set. Blitz coming right up the middle. Troutman spins out to his right. He's got a little space, dumps it off underneath for Tyson Hester. Hester is hammered at the 38-yard line.
Gutierrez on the hit.
This Hermiston team is coming out, ears pinned back defensively. I asked Scott Hammond, the defensive coordinator, in his second year in that position. He's been with the program a little longer than a half-decade now. But what do you do against this team that does a lot of misdirection type stuff? And he said, you attack it, and you show them how you want to play football. McKay gets the kick away. This time Neal will catch it at the 27. Neal slipped, and he's down at the 30-yard line. Tried to cut back to his left, but he did catch the ball, which for us is the most important thing because Hermiston has it at the 30 instead of inside the 10, and that was the final play of the first quarter. 14-0 Hermiston after 1 quarter here in Hermiston. We'll be back on AM 1360 KOHU. First play of the second quarter, it's a handoff to Jonathan Inkle running left. He'll get outside the hash marks and across the 40-yard line, picking up 11 yards. And Hermiston keeps on keep it on offensively onto the ground. They've got the wind at their back here in quarter number 2 and a 14-0 lead as we join you from the Old West Federal Credit Union broadcast booth. Little bit of tempo. They still huddled, but break the huddle quickly on this first down and 10 play from the 41. 2 in the backfield with James, who takes a snap, hands it off. It's Hinkle running right this time. Hinkle will cut back to his left, and at the 45, he'll cross over and fall forward to the 47-yard line.
Nice job of Hinkle picking up 5 that time. Again, Eric, right now what we're doing, we're seeing a Hermiston offensive line that is getting at least 5 yards of drive, and Jonathan Hinkle doing the rest by his strength. It's a good-looking offense right now.
Second down, 5 to go. James, high snap again, pulls it down. Option play, tosses right side, Hinkle across midfield. Hinkle makes a man miss, he's at the 45. Cuts back to his right across the 40, rumbling down right on top of the 40, and he is pulled down at the 39-yard line. Hermiston gets another first down on a 15-yard run.
Hinkle just doing a great job of reading. That was a great read option by Andrew James that time, and just pitched the ball out there perfectly for Hinkle to catch it on the dead run.
10:40 left in quarter 2. 14-0 Hermiston. Bulldogs into Redmond territory on their third drive, looking to add on. Hinkle stands to the left shoulder of James with 2 receiver options each way. James, play action, looking to throw. Deep ball, far sideline, towards the sideline, and it carries with the wind out of play. Incomplete.
Yeah, that's the one that you're going to have to protect against there, is if you get it up in this air, it is definitely going to carry out.
Temperature keeps dipping down into the upper 40s. The wind is the most prominent part of Mother Nature's night. We had quite a bit of rain, but that was a day ago, almost 24 hours ago at this point here in Hermiston. Field, turf field, so there's no ill effects to that. Hinkle to the right shoulder of James on this 2nd and 10 from the 39. Play action again, near sideline thrown. Walshley has it with a blocker in front. Walshley down the near sideline, 25, he's sprung. 15, 10, 5, touchdown Bulldogs! And it was Joey Gutierrez here on the near sideline. He had to get the one-man, one-on-one, and it was all Walshley from there. The senior gets to the end zone for the first time in his varsity career.
And that was a great job by Gutierrez. Great job by Walshley reading and letting the block set up for him, and did a great job of cutting inside and then back to the sideline after making it past that initial block.
39-yard touchdown reception for Walshley. It gets him over 100 yards on the season. Now Tuia to hold the kick from Neal. It's under some pressure, but it's up and it is through. And it is a 21-0 lead for Hermiston with 10-12 left in the second quarter. You were saying there you got to like...
You got to like what, how Walshley, let that thing...
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
To Hinkle, and it brings everybody in to the middle of the field.
Yes, it was, and it just a great job that time. And for Andrew, that was 2 of 3 on passing so far on the night for 56 yards and a touchdown. It's just nice to see that Hermiston is starting to click. Now we just got to continue it.
Take a look through Dan's West Coast Auto Glasses scoreboard. End of the first quarter in Stanfield. Hepner's got an 8-0 lead, and Mountain View is up late in the first on Hood River Valley at Henderson Stadium in Hood River, 13-0. Deshaun Neal's going to need somebody to put a single finger on top of this ball. It is not a Lucy Charlie Brown type situation, although it does have that look right now. As Jordan Ramirez gets to it, he's not going to pull it away, right?
Nah.
Although there would be an entertainment value in that.
Especially, yeah.
10-12 left in the second quarter, 21-0. Neal with the wind at his back will kick a spinner, and it's going to get a bounce at the 20, bops off of the hand of Taylor. Taylor picks it back up. Taylor running up the middle of the field, gets back to the 15 where the ball bounced initially, but it's kind of like talking about Hermiston's punt. If you're a kick returner for Redmond and they've got 3 back in a triangle formation, that ball cannot bounce.
No, that is exactly right. You cannot allow that to bounce down there. Eric, that looked like, I can't really say, but it looked like 78 on the tackle that time.
Well, and that is Sergio Rosales. Sergio going to be one of the staples at a guard position next year at the varsity level after Blake and Watto graduate. Troutman takes a snap. He'll hand off. Taylor running right. Taylor on the counter gets up near the 20. There's a flag flying out through the pile. It almost looked like it dropped out of the back pocket of Jack Taylor, who was running there. But it came from the umpire, and it's a face mask, it looks like.
Oh, man.
Personal foul. Face mask. Number 23. 15 yards from the end of the run. First down.
So Peter Earl picks up a 15-yard penalty for Hermiston.
Taylor Arnold in on the help on that, and you're right, Eric. You know, that's the one thing you cannot do right now is just let up, and simple mistake. It wasn't anything big.
2 minutes gone in the second quarter, 21-0 Hermiston. Troutman with the back to his left, takes a snap, hands off. Taylor running right again, puts his shoulder down, and he is pulled back down. No gain on the play, if anything. Charles Rodriguez at right tackle, Gabe Condell at right guard, Cole Garibaldio at center, Dylan Young at left guard, and Cody Kluser at left tackle. There are 4 seniors. None of them had varsity experience coming into this season. They graduated 4 of their 5, and they lost all 5 linemen from last year. To go along with, I already mentioned Cougar Smith, the incredible running back. 2nd and 9. Troutman rolling right. He's going to throw this one. Whips it to the sidelines, out of bounds. Looking to try to get it into the hands of Cooper Browning, but threw it too far. In addition to that, Bunker Parrish, their quarterback, 4 years a starter at Redmond. Also, you have to fill that hole, and Troutman surely wasn't supposed to be the guy. He was supposed to be a running back for them. Clayton Elrod wasn't supposed to be the guy. He was supposed to be a receiver option and a defensive guy for them. 3rd down and 9, and then we'll tell you who was supposed to be the guy. Troutman has a snap, bobble off of his chest. He picks it up, rolls to the right. Now he's in trouble. Out on the far sideline. He spins out of Arnold's hands, and he will be pushed out of bounds. Troutman made a little bit out of what should have been a big loss on the play. So it was going to be an underclassman. Had a great spring, had a good summer. He got hurt before the first day of practice in a skateboarding accident. So that was their starting quarterback who's out. Their second quarterback also out. Punt is away. This one's going to bounce at the 40 and will check up. And smartly snagged by Henry Chambers as he ran past it. And at the 40-yard line, Hermiston will take over. Up 21-0 with 8:39 left in the second quarter.
Eric, and it looked like on that last push out there that, you know, Tyler Rohrman got a good little push on the sideline to get Troutman out of bounds there, and A.J. Tulia seeing him more and more time in there back there in the defensive backfield, which is good to see.
1st down and 10. 3-touchdown lead right now for Hermiston. It's Earl behind Andrew James. James will hand it. Earl up the middle. Tripped up. And a touchdown at the 44-yard line after a 4-yard gain. Earl came into the game with 2 touchdowns on the ground this season, and he is nearing 200 yards rushing for Hermiston. 2nd down and 6. No huddle offense. Now Hermiston will look over to the sidelines. And Mike Mosier, the quarterback's coach, relaying signals in. James with the keeper running to the right side. Big hole, he's at the 50.
He's
now
gone.
goes out to the far sideline, 35 to the 30. Flag comes out as he steps out of bounds just short of the 15-yard line. It's going to be first down yardage. It's going to get Hermiston into Redmond territory, but it's going to be pulled back by about 25 yards.
Yeah, penalty flag went down on about the 28, 29-yard line, and it just looked like Andrew, with his quick feet, turned the Redmond player around, which also turned the Hermiston player around, and it was in an inadvertent block in the back.
Number 23 on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot. Still results in a first down.
So Hermiston will move it into Redmond territory for a 4th time tonight. Looking to get a 4th score on the board tonight with just under 8 minutes remaining in quarter number 2.
15-yard run it ends up being for Andrew that time. Longer, but, brings back to the 39-yard line.
Earl to the right shoulder of James. James takes the snap. He's going to throw. Rolling to the right side with time. Deep ball down the near sideline. Neal behind everybody. Catches it at the 10. Waltzes into the end zone. Hermiston on the board. Another 39-yard touchdown strike for Andrew James.
And that's did you see that touch that time? That was perfect. Andrew just got it up in the air long enough over the top of the defense and let Deshaun run in after. Perfect. Great protection on the line of scrimmage to allow Andrew to go ahead and toss that for a great pickup.
Neal's 11th touchdown catch of the season. Offensively, it is his 13th touchdown this year and 2nd of this game. Had an 8-yard touchdown run in the first quarter. Now, to go 4 for 4 with extra points. Good snap, good hold. Kick is up and true. 28-0 Hermiston, 7:46 left in the second quarter. We'll take a break here on AM 1360 KOHU.
Dallas is up on Crescent Valley early. 7-3. And Silverton's down to Central.
Second kick for the Bulldogs, number 1, Deshaun Neal.
Deshaun Neal kicks another one away, and Taylor will take it at the 13. Up the middle he goes. Jack Taylor stutter steps at the 30, and he will be piled up at the 32-yard line. Let's take a look at the Dan's West Coast Auto Glass scoreboard. Interesting scoreline coming out of Central Oregon. Pendleton 14, Bend nothing after 1 quarter of play. After one on the west side, Clackamas 22, Oregon City 7. It is Dallas up on Crescent Valley early, and Silverton is trailing early on in their Mid-Willamette Conference game. The most confusing conference as far as the playoffs go. We have switch in the backfield. Clayton Elrod is going to go to the pistol formation. First down and 10. Low snap, and he has to fall back on top of it. Loss of a couple of yards as Elrod is able to make sure it's not a turnover at the 30-yard line. So they take Kamau Troutman out of the backfield. In fact, he's on the sidelines right now with a 28-0 deficit. Redmond looking for their first down. 7:19 and the clock is spinning in the second quarter. Elrod with a pistol set has Taylor behind him. Moving out to the right side, it will be Browning. Elrod hands off. Taylor trying to run left. He'll break one tackle, now step into a pile where he is pulled down. In there on the stop for Hermiston was A.J. Fernandez and Keaton McCamey.
And Elrod gets back to right to the line of scrimmage for no yardage pickup.
Long huddle. Now Redmond will break it with 6:28 left in the second quarter, trailing by 4 scores. Elrod Taylor behind him. Tight end to the right. 2 receiver options, 1 each way. And now a timeout given to Redmond. 6:18 left in the second quarter, 28-0. Let's revisit what we know about the IMC right now, and that's Pendleton, a 2-touchdown lead at Bend. And then we know Mountain View is up on Hood River Valley by 2 scores after the first quarter of play. Nothing Summit Ridgeview on the Twitter right now. But honestly, for the Summit Storm, it's not going to matter if Pendleton picks up the win and they improve to 4. When the 2 teams will play for the final time in the program's histories before Hermiston moves into the state of Washington.
It's getting a little loud out there, Eric. Kind of nice.
Fans are filtering in. The band is doing a lion's share of the work right now. With 6:18 left in the second quarter, out of the Redmond timeout, 28-0 Hermiston. Elrod, the senior quarterback, takes a low snap, has it off of his shin, picks it back up. He's going to try to run out to the right side. Gets around Tuia and is pulled down from behind at the 36-yard line. Not going to be nearly enough as Peter Earl makes the stop for Hermiston. Pulling Elrod down at the 36. It's a 4th down and 6 facing Redmond. And so again, Andrew McKeag will come out to punt into the wind this time. And Neal going backwards, still going backwards. It's a fake. Troutman rolling right side. Troutman pushed off of 1, throws it near sideline, dumps it off, and it's dropped incomplete right into the arms of the waiting Justin Kettle, and Kettle dropped it. I don't know that would have turned into anything, but Kettle makes sure that it doesn't turn into anything with the drop. And Hermiston's going to take over at the Redmond 36-yard line, up 28-0 with 5:33 left in the second quarter.
And that's huge for Hermiston, that, taking over that ball right where it's at. Even better, big break for Redmond that he wasn't sacked the first time and he was able to get away, because that would have put Hermiston clear down on about the 25-yard line.
Power package in for Hermiston. 3 receiver options. They're all bunched up in a triangle to the right. High snap, toss play, right side for Hinkle. Hinkle cuts back to his left in the middle of the field at the 30. Out to the far sideline, 25-20, 15-10, 5 with a lead blocker to lead him into the end zone. Andrew James gets the last block to get Hinkle in for the 36-yard touchdown run.
There's your quarterback, your scruffy guy out there you love to see, but really don't want to see him out there leading the block in. But Andrew James leading Hinkle in and not giving up and getting a great block to put Hermiston up 34-0 right now.
Neal for the extra point. The long snapper is Tyler Rorman. A.J. Tui is the holder. With the wind at their back, a little 20-yard chipper. It is up. It is through. 35-0, 5:22 left in the second quarter. Let's take a break here on AM 1360 KOHU. Now 35-0. This Hermiston team is starting to look like the number 3 seed in the state. That's where the RPI has them currently. Deshaun Neal will chip one near sideline right into the arms of Browning. Browning's not going to get very far at all. Some pushing and shoving afterwards. Cooler heads prevail on this cool October evening. 5:20 left in the second quarter. 35-0 is the score line right now. Redmond still looking for their first down of the night.
So they got a first down on the penalty, Eric, so they'll for their offensive first down, yes.
Elrod again. Taylor to his left. Troutman's still not out there. Elrod takes eye snap. He's going to run himself left side behind a lead blocker. Taylor gets to the 35, gaining 2. Just not a whole lot of space to go. A good outside seal. Fernandez ends up in on the tackle along with Gutierrez.
Nice job by Fernandez and Gutierrez that time. Gutierrez reading it, coming in, and Fernandez helping him out.
2nd and 8. And Troutman is back in. Troutman positions himself behind the center. He'll take the snap. He's running out to the right side. Troutman to the edge outside the hash marks at the 35. And a flag comes out from the near sideline as Troutman is shoved out of bounds.
It's like Tulia or...
Gain of maybe a yard on the play, but we're going to have to check on the marker back here on the near sideline. Andrew James is going to come onto the field. A.J. Tuia will come off, and now we hear about the flag.
Holding on the offense, number 44. 10-yard penalty from the spot. Still 2nd down.
The holding penalty from the spot is going to push Redmond back to their 21-yard line. 2nd down and 21 now facing the Panthers, and 22. Troutman and Taylor in the backfield. Taylor to the left, Troutman to the right. It could be snapped to either of them. Looks like Troutman will take the snap. He will. Hand off to Taylor, running right. Taylor bounces into the line, spins off of a tackler, breaks another down the far sideline, 35, 40, 45, 50. It's a foot race down the far sideline. Earl dives for him, can't get him. Troutman to the 20, 15, 10, 5, and into the end zone. And oh my goodness, when it rains, it pours. There's a flag back near the line of, no, it wasn't the line of scrimmage, near the original line of scrimmage.
It's going to be a Hermiston face mask. Peter Earl, when he was running out, it looked like might have hooked the face mask as he went by.
Well, they said
holding
against Hermiston.
When I see somebody's head spin like that, it's just absolutely amazing that they missed that. So that was Taylor on the runner. Elrod.
Jack Taylor.
Yep.
On the touchdown run of 78 yards. And now what's interesting is, and they haven't indicated this yet, what is the severity of the penalty? If it's a face mask, and he indicated incorrectly first, if it's a personal foul face mask, that means that they will kick off 15 yards forward. Let's hear.
Personal foul. Face mask on the defense. That penalty will take it on the kickoff. It's a touchdown.
And why I say that's important is instead of kicking off from the 40, Redmond will now kick off from the Hermiston 45 in their territory. Essentially, it's a great place to onside kick. The extra point is up for Brian Lopez, and it is through. And now Redmond's on the scoreboard with 4:18 left in the second quarter. Now it's 35-7. Hermiston is still in firm control, but some bad tackling there, and that's going to be a tough play in film session tomorrow.
Yeah, it is, and that time there, Taylor did a great job on the cutback. He set Peter up, and Peter had to reach for something, thought he could get the jersey, but hooked the face mask. But from then on, it was good running by Taylor, and Taylor outran, a lot of good Hermiston defensive backs to get into the end zone from 78 yards out. And for Redmond's initial first down of the game.
It was a play that looked like it was bottled up at the line of scrimmage. Jack Taylor is a dangerous runner, and the senior gets in. And again, this means that this kick's coming from the 45. I will be shocked and awed, frankly, if this is not an onside kick.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. I would expect this to be an onside kick, and Hermiston's not expecting it. They do not have their hands crew per se up there on the line.
This is a traditional setup. 5 on the line, 2 that are set up about 22 yards behind where the ball will be kicked, then 2 more than 2 deep, Rosone and Neal. But there's no reason for Brian Lopez to kick this one deep, and he's going to.
Wow.
And it's going to flutter and float out of bounds at the 3-yard line for an illegal procedure.
So that's going to bring it out to the 35-yard line. And, Hermiston's going to get good field position out of this. So, I don't understand why they did that myself, but you get an opportunity to go ahead and try and pin a team in deep in their own territory. Miss kick.
So Hermiston's going to get it on the 35.
Or are they going to make him re-kick?
No, why would you make him re-kick from the the 50 instead of the 40?
No, they just really had a long conversation with Coach Fatete. This side coach umpire just had a long conversation with Coach Fatete just as they were walking back out. So let's see what they do. If they make him re-kick it.
There's quite a long pause here.
Correction. The penalty is 25 yards from the kickoff. That will put it on the 20.
Huh? What?
So
I've never seen this before. That's not right.
So they said it's 25 yards from the kickoff, which would be true. If the kickoff's from the 40, it goes to the 35.
Ball will be re-kicked.
And so Hermiston's going to say, you know what, why don't you re-kick it?
Yeah.
So.
See, that's what I don't get. How it doesn't matter. You kicked off from the 45-yard line or the 45-yard line of Hermiston's. It goes out of bounds. It still has to come out to the 35. There's no thing in there. The penalty's already been assessed. They can't penalize them a second time. And that's exactly what they did. Now they're going to say, no, we'll just make them re-kick it, which is a smart thing to do because if they're going to get penalized twice for the same play, they might as well go ahead and make them re-kick it.
I don't know. It's 4:18 left in the second quarter. It's 35-7.
Blue Mountain
We are very deep into the officiating book right now, and I just don't know the rule. If it's really 25 yards from the kick, then I guess re-kick, and I guess I still don't understand. As the kick is to the far sideline, Rosone drops it, picks it back up. He's at the 25-30, breaks another tackle, far sideline, 35-40, and he jumps over another tackler and falls forward. He's all the way up to the 50-yard line. Rosone. Was it Rosone or was it Neal?
It was Rosone, I believe.
It was Rosone, okay. That was Rizone who returned. He has another huge return. He had an 80-yard return on the opening kickoff of the game. They'll say down at the 50, so he has a 42-yard return here. 122 yards of kick returns. And Hermiston has it first down and 10 at the 50. And I still don't understand, even with the ball at the 50-yard line, we don't onside kick.
Yeah.
Andrew James, first down and 10, 4:05 left in the first half. Hands off to Earl. Earl breaks one tackle. Now he runs into the big paws of number 33, the middle linebacker, John Crivoloni.
4-yard pickup that time by Earl, just doing a good job keeping the legs moving. Hermiston's offensive line is getting some great fire off right now against a pretty good-sized Redmond defensive front. That's the key. Hermiston is standing them up and getting push downfield.
Second down and 6. Two receiver options to the right. Neal in the slot, Walshley outside of him. Fake the play action, handoff to Earl, slaps away one tackler. He's at the 40, far sideline, 30, 25, 20. Cuts back to the right at the 15, at the 10. Earl is pulled down, and Colton Mortensen makes the saving tackle. First time we've talked about Mortensen, the senior, who is a sophomore, was part of the 4x100 track and field state championship quartet. And he makes a saving tackle after Earl makes a big run.
46 to the 10, a 36-yard pickup that time for Peter Earl. Just doing a great job of following blocks and then making some more on his own.
Right side, Earl again. Earl pulled down from behind. It was a stop for Bailey Crony.
That one there sure looked like he got close to Peter Earl's face mask on that, the way his head came right to the ground.
Under 3 minutes remaining in the second quarter. 35-7 is the scoreline. And for Hermiston, it is goal to go from the 13. Second and goal. Walshley alone to the right. Three options to the left. Hinkle is to the left shoulder of Andrew James. James takes the snap. He's looking to throw. Out to the flat left side. Some space out there. And Hermiston gets it down near the 10-yard line. It was Joey Gutierrez with the catch. 2 catches, 29 yards last week.
And we'll see what they come out of. This looks like a good one for just a quick slant to Joey coming across.
Third and goal from the 12. Toss play right side on the option. Hinkle's got it. Hinkle down the right side. Bounces off of the cornerback Colton Mortensen into the end zone for a 12-yard touchdown run.
That was just beast mode that time because out of the last 4 yards of that run, Jonathan Hinkle absolutely tattooed people. Eric, that's his 8th rush of the 9th, already 95 yards and 3 touchdowns.
9 touchdowns on the season now. Over 630 yards, and Deshaun Neal misses that one. Pulled it left. He had been flirting with that left goalpost, and that one just pulled wide to make it 41-7 with 1:53 left in the second quarter. Here in Hermiston, on AM 1360 KOHU Hermiston from the Old West Federal Credit Union broadcast booth. Coming up, halftime, our Tom Denchel Ford Country halftime show's featured interview. It will be Amy Dyke, the head coach of the Hermiston volleyball program. Their season closed this past Tuesday over in Pendleton against the rival Buckaroos. Hermiston, win-loss total, not the best, and I told Coach Dyke this over a month ago. Maybe it was even closer to just the first couple of weeks of the season. I go to a lot of volleyball. I'm a volleyball kid. I grew up in the gym down where my mom coached in Northern California. I love the sport, and this team is as exciting, if not more exciting, than any team since probably the 2012 squad. And they've got a lot of growing to do. They were very young. Nobody had on that team had played a 5-set match at the varsity level coming into the season. And, yeah, it wasn't the greatest win-loss record, but there's a lot of promise in that program. And it's interesting to talk to Coach Dyke, who just finished her first year as the head coach, second year here in Hermiston with the program. Deshaun Neal's kick is to the near sideline. And Mortensen coming with a big block. He's at the 30. Check that. This is Taylor. Taylor across the 35, and now he's stood up there. Taylor's forward progress gets him to the 36-yard line. It's a return of about 21. And Redmond, with a minute 43 left in the second quarter and 2 timeouts, trails 41-7.
Looks like Tyler Rohrman was in on the tackle that time, along with Joey Gutierrez, I believe. No, Jordan Ramirez.
First down and 10 from the 37-yard line. Left hash mark set. And Kamano Troutman. The running back's back in the pistol set. High snap, it's over his head, it's over Taylor's head. Taylor's running backwards to pick it up at the 15-yard line as Troutman fell down, and Taylor is pulled down by a plethora of purple shirts. A.J. Tuya leading the way. He'll get credit for the big tackle for a loss. Back at the 12-yard line, it's a disastrous play for the Redmond offense.
Yeah, you lose that one there from your own 37 back to the 12. You know, that's a huge 24-yard loss.
$24 yards backwards. Second down and 34. They got to get it to midfield. It's at the 12-yard line. Troutman, pistol set. Troutman, quick throw out into the flat on the wide side, and he's got some space out there. Outside the 30-yard line, it's Mortensen pulled out of bounds, and Colton Mortensen gets Redmond back near the 29-yard line. Got quite a bit of it back, but still, it's a third down and 21.
Deshaun Neal. On the 20-yard pickup.
I'm telling you who it was. It was Mortensen, 22.
Yeah.
Third down play ends up in a run, and Hermiston wants a timeout. 38 seconds. Hermiston's going to plead for a little bit more time put back on the clock. 41-7. You can't get to the 45-point total right now, but you can get yourself closer. And David Vitae talked about it at Chalk Talk. Sonny, we talked about this down in Redmond. We felt like this was a Hermiston team who they went into the game feeling like they should be able to 45-point the Ridgeview team. They came in tonight feeling like they should 45-point this team. The thing about getting 45 points this late in the season is you can shorten the game and shorten the amount of time that your varsity guys have to take snaps.
And you have to do that. If you've got the potential to be able to do that, Eric, you have to ensure you do that. I mean, and this should be a game that we do that. We should not have our starters in after maybe the first 2 series of that third period. And that's going to be huge because that's going to mean if we have the extended season, we can advance more and more plays onto those starters that get the rest.
And last week's win clinched a playoff spot for Hermiston. Hermiston is into the postseason. Hermiston, Mountain View, and Bend, in fact, are all into the postseason out of the IMC. It's essentially down to Pendleton and Summit.
Yeah, and that's a key right now of being able to make sure that we just stop them here, go into halftime at 34 up, and come out and have to get 2 scores early in that third period.
Well, and Redmond, I think, was toying with whether or not they wanted to kick or go for it. They will kick on 4th down at 18. The kick is low, it's short, it bounces at the 46 and checks up, and right around midfield, it kicked off a Redmond shoot top, and nobody saw it, and so Redmond's going to get a little bit of favorability from that, as the ball is going to be at the 47-yard line. With 28 seconds remaining, Hermiston has 2 timeouts at a 41-7 lead. And I know the idea of trying to get to 45 points as quick as possible will leave a sour taste in some people's mouths, and I get it. It's kind of like the idea of if you're up 9-0 in a baseball game in the 5th inning, and you're the home team, and you got your best hitter sitting on a 3-0 count, you know, the unwritten rules of baseball would say you don't swing at a 3-0 count. But if it's 9-0 and your guy could hit it out to make it 10-0 and end the game, and then you save your pitching, you do it. Same thing here. It's not throws, but you're saving tackles, essentially. First down and 10. Fake throw out to the far sideline. Tyler Werman has it on the screenplay. Tyler Werman had a big block. He's at the 35-30. Cuts back to his right, down inside the 25. And Tyler Werman will be down to the 24-yard line. Hermiston wants to hurry to the line with 19.5 seconds left and the clock paused.
33-yard pickup that time by
James
Tyler
is going to go under center. Whistle goes. James will spike the ball, clock it. 16.5 seconds remaining in the first half. Now, the wind is at their back. So, theoretically, if something kind of went catawalkus here, this is a easier way to kick a field goal. And Deshaun's been hitting it hard tonight on the extra points. But I think that, obviously, the goal for Hermiston is to get another one on the board here before they go into the locker room. And that spike of the ball saved a timeout. Second down and 10 from the 24. James with Hinkle to his right will roll to the right side. Hinkle stays in the block. James, lots of time. Now James in trouble. He's going to pull it down and run himself. Tripped up from behind. He's down near the 15-yard line. And Hermiston will have to call a timeout with 8.2 seconds remaining. Good defensive job by Redmond. They covered everybody who had flooded out to the right side. Didn't let anybody flash open for Andrew James. So he had to pull it down, and he's dangerous. But then a great saving tackle was made to keep Hermiston out of the end zone.
Yeah,
and to keep Andrew from a first down.
Yes, and that was the big key. 8.2, you know, I would look, if I'm going to do this, to the fade. You know, because of the way the wind is blowing right now, the direction the wind is blowing, I would go to the fade towards the B on the Bulldogs in that corner over there. Just because it's a little bit easier for the ball to go ahead and drift in that way. The ball will carry coming over from the west on this southwest side.
So let me play devil's advocate, because I never do that to you. On this play, I would throw a quick slant, because the fade route takes just a bit longer, and you throw a quick slant here and it doesn't work out. You still get another play out of it.
Yeah.
Although the other thing is, it's 3rd and 2. You could run it with Hinkle here, and you still have a timeout to stop it. You'd get one more play.
Yeah, that's if they go.
So we'll see where they're going. 3rd down and 2 from the 16-yard line. Right hash mark set. James looks like he's changing the play. Takes a snap, looking left. Over the middle, he will throw a slant off of the fingertips of Joey Gutierrez, incomplete. Andrew and I were on the same page there, and you know what happened? It was the safety was back off of the slot receiver, and then when Andrew signaled the hot play by putting his hands in the air and motioning a signal, the safety stepped up into press coverage.
See, and that's the one thing. Right now they're double teaming right from the get-go on the set. They're double teaming Deshaun. They've got the corner up close, and then the safety following, a little bit deeper on him.
4th down and 2 from the 16. Hinkle behind James. James dropping back, screenplay set up over the middle. It's Neal. Neal at the 5. Neal into the end zone down the right hash mark, tosses the ball to the back judge, and it's another Hermiston touchdown. And it comes with no time left on the clock here in the first half. Obviously, the point after has to be tried.
Perfectly, you know, you run that screen, and boy, Andrew, I tell you what, he just kept letting those guys come. Redmond actually had it defended initially very well off that left side where Deshaun first came from. And all Andrew did was went ahead and let them keep coming, getting more and more depth. Deshaun came back and got it.
Neal's kick is up. It is through. And at halftime, Hermiston's lead is 48-7 over the Redmond Panthers. Senior night is a night with a lot of smiles right now for the Hermiston Bulldog football program.
Welcome back, Hermiston High School. This is Clint from CS Sports Now. Now bringing you my prediction on Friday night's game versus Hermiston and Redmond. My prediction is that Hermiston is going to win because Redmond has a losing record or losing streak on my end. So Hermiston is going to take the big fat W right here, while Redmond is going to take the big fat L for them right here. And that's my predictions for the game versus Hermiston and Redmond. And see you all on the next video. Peace.
The Hermiston football team has come a long way this season, in third place so far for 5A classification and second in IMC. With 2 more games to go, the only 2 teams left for the Dogs to play is Pendleton and Redmond's boys football team. The Hermiston Bulldogs currently stand at 5 wins and 2 losses, as opposed to Redmond's 1 win and 6 losses. Pendleton stands at a slightly better 4 wins and 3 losses. Hermiston quarterback Andrew James is currently 7th ranked in rushing for 5A classification and 4th in passing. Wide receiver Deshaun Neal is in 2nd for 5A for receiving yards and 5th in overall scoring for 5A classification. In other sports news, tonight is senior night where we recognize seniors football athletes. Thank you for your years of hard work and dedication that you've put into Hermiston High School. Now here's Clint with tonight's weather. Go Dogs.
What is up, everyone? This is Clint from CS Sports Now, and I'll be going to bring you the weather report on Friday night's game. Now let's get into it. So right now it's going to be around 53 degrees with a 10% rain and a 50-mile-per-hour wind. And hopefully Hermiston beats Redmond. Go Hermiston!
No, I'll have a little bit here, but we're gonna get out of this first break. It's like a mac and cheese. No, it's mac and cheese. From the Old West Federal Credit Union broadcast booth, it's your Tom Ditchell Ford Country halftime show. I'm Eric Olson. He's Sonny Levy. It's AM 1360 KOHU. 48-7 at the half. And for the Hermiston Bulldogs, it was a 80-yard kickoff return by Yobani Razone to start the game. All the way down to the 8-yard line, Jonathan Henkel punches it in, first offensive play, and Hermiston's up 7-0, 23 seconds into this thing. It would be a long bit of time on the game clock before Hermiston would get back into the end zone, but it was still their second drive. 2:06 left in the first quarter. Deshaun Neal takes a sweep play, gets it in from 8 yards out. It is 14-0. That was the score after the first quarter. In the second quarter, Luke Walshley, a 39-yard touchdown reception from Andrew James. Walshley's first touchdown at the varsity level of his career. And then Deshaun Neal, a 39-yard touchdown reception from Andrew James. Hinkle got in from 36 yards out with Andrew James as the lead blocker. The Redmond Panthers got on the board with Jack Taylor breaking away on a 78-yard touchdown run. At that time, it was 35-7 in favor of Hermiston. And in the final 4 minutes of the first half, Hermiston would get 2 more touchdowns. Jonathan Hinkle from 12 yards out to make it 41-7 after a wide point after attempt by Neal. And then Deshaun would get a 16-yard screen play on the tunnel screen to the wide receiver from Andrew James to make it 48-7 with zeros on the clock. Going into the halftime break, 41-point lead for Hermiston. Sonny, it's essentially exactly how you draw it up.
Yeah, it is, and when you consider that Hermiston after the first period, or after the first quarter, only had 44 yards rushing, and was able to go ahead and come out of that with a 14-0 lead on just 44 yards rushing. They only had, through the air, I believe it was somewhere around 95 yards in the first. So you have 150 yards of total offense in that first period, and you're only up 14-0. But yeah, that's what you want to draw. Get the big return, get that out of the way, get the points on the board. Come back, make sure that you make your opponent go ahead and stall out, which we did. We were able to go ahead and get them to stop what they were doing and stall them out, and Hermiston come back and scored on another big play. It's just nice to see that just maybe Hermiston is finally getting the feeling of what it takes to put a team away in a game where it needs to put them away to be able to get the people they need to get some rest.
They're a touchdown away from the 45-point rule in the state of Oregon. If you get a 45-point lead, the clock runs with the exception of injuries, timeouts, and scores for the remainder of the contest. Hermiston will kick off to Redmond to start the second half. We'll come back with a look through the Dan's West Coast Auto Glasses scoreboard after this break on AM 1360 KOHU.
Well, there's going to be a Game 7 in the ALCS. Houston's absolutely laying it on New York.
I'm sorry for you. I'm not sorry, but I'm sorry for you.
Yeah, it's 7-1 right now. Judge hit a home run last inning in the 8th.
He strike out his other 5 at-bats?
Yep.
Here we go. 48-7, Hermiston with the lead. And we look through the Dan's West Coast Auto Glass scoreboard. It is Barlow 21, Gresham 7 as they near the end of the first half. At halftime, South Medford 10, Sheldon 7. That one's an interesting scoreline to say the least. Pendleton 21, Bend 14 at the halftime break. So Bend has scored a couple of times to get themselves back in it, but they were falling very far behind the Pendleton Buckaroos to start off that game tonight. And we know locally up in Umatilla, the Vikings are hosting the Oregon Knights on Milt Duran Field. 16-6 is the score line right now. Last update was 22-12 Echo over Cove, and that one was at the half. Some first half statistics, Sonny, from this one.
Well, we'll go ahead and start with Redmond. Redmond ran the ball 29 times for 89 yards and was 2 of 5 passing for a total of 34 plays for 109 yards. They had 20 yards through the air. 2 first downs only, one of them by the penalty and one by the passing play for the touchdown. Had 1 penalty for 15 yards. For Hermiston, ran the ball 26 times for 227 yards. 6 of 8 through the air for 147 yards. 34 plays for 374 yards total. 14 first downs and 3 penalties for 40 yards. For Hermiston, Andrew James had 7 rushes for 40 yards. You like seeing that. You don't want to see him have to carry the ball. Jonathan Hinkle, a big night in the first half. 8 rushes, 95 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Peter Earl, 6 rushes, 49 yards. Again, you like seeing that. Deshaun Neal, 2 for 21 and a touchdown. Keaton McCamey, 2 rushes for 18 yards. And Joey Gutierrez, 1 for 4. Again, 26 for 227 yards on the ground. Andrew James, 6 of 8 for 147 yards through the air. Deshaun Neal, 3 catches, 72 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Tyler Rohrman, 1 for 33 yards. Joey Gutierrez, 1 for 3. Luke Walshley, 1 for 39 yards and a touchdown. And 6 receptions, 147 yards. So again, Hermiston, 34 plays. Redmond, 34 plays. Hermiston, 374 total yards first half to Redmond's 109.
48-7 is the score line. Redmond Panthers huddling up on the far sideline right around midfield in their road white uniform tops with a crimson or a red numeral and a lettering, a little bit of yellow trim, black pants for them. Hermiston, the purple tops with black numerals and lettering trimmed in silver and black pants. The matte black helmet with the purple H on the side. Bulldogs will kick it off into the wind, which is still very strong out of the southwest this evening. Deshaun Neal will have the ball on the 40 right in the middle of the park to kick it away. Some personnel changes in the return game for Redmond. Most notably, back deep to receive instead of Jack Taylor, it is the track and field speedster, Colton Mortensen. Mortensen stands around the 10 as Neal has the ready to play. And Hermiston will kick it away. Low squibber, bounces a few times and is down at the 30-yard line. It's not the NFL, so while Colt Folston fell on top of it on his belly, he started to get up like he was going to return it, and it's not down by contact, it's down is down. So 30-yard line is where Redmond will have it. First down and 10.
And this is what Redmond needs to do. If Redmond wants to even have a fighting chance, it's going to be way uphill. But they have got to move. They've got to be able to flip the field right now. No matter if they make a first down or not, they need to be able to flip this field, kick the ball deep to Hermiston to give them as long as field as they possibly can have in this game.
Kamau Troutman is behind the center. He'll take the snap, running to the left side behind Taylor, lead blocking for him. To the left hash mark, Troutman will get himself and push up to the 34-yard line, gaining 4 yards on the first play. The reality is, there's no secret for Redmond. It is going to be a comeback of epic proportions. The more likely scenario for them is they come into the third and fourth quarters, and their goal is Gene Dale's team needs to get some momentum. They need to get some positive vibrations for them as they go into their rivalry matchup with Ridgeview next Friday night. 2nd down and 6. And Troutman again takes a snap, hands off. Taylor running right side. Taylor's got the edge. He's at the 40. He's got a lead blocker at the 45-50. Now into Hermiston territory, down inside the 40 to the 35 and pulled down all the way up to the 30-70-yard line.
31-yard line.
A.J. Tuya makes the stop, and he'll come out. Andrew James will swap in for him. So a big run for Redmond. And they've got another first down. Their second offensive first down of the game. That's their third of the game, but one of them was on a 15-yard penalty. First down and 10 from the 33. This is the deepest they've been in Hermiston territory, with the exception of a 78-yard touchdown run by Taylor, who takes this handoff. Taylor stuck to the right, cuts back to his left. Nice jump cut down to the 31-yard line before he is pulled down. In there on the stop for Hermiston was Ryan Arnold. Makes his 5th tackle of the season for Hermiston. The younger Arnold. Taylor's at defensive end. Ryan's in the linebacking core. So Hermiston's starting to rotate some of the fresh faces in defensively. And a 2nd and 8 for Redmond. Kamau Troutman in a pistol set with Taylor behind him. Troutman, hands off. Taylor running left. Taylor stuck and dropped in the backfield. Shedding a block. Keaton McCamey dropped him for the loss back at the 34-yard line.
That was an absolute blow up that time.
They'll say forward progress to the 32, so it's a loss of just a yard on the play. And Troutman will bring the new play back into the Redmond huddle.
Yeah, that time there he had a good lead blocker, but then all of a sudden that lead blocker disappeared and McCamey just absolutely laid him out.
3rd and 9. Troutman again in a pistol set. Takes a snap. It gets past him. He spins around, picks it back up. He's in trouble in the backfield. Scrambling to his right. He gets around one tackler, has a blocker in front of him. And now Tyler Rorman is able to wrap him up and pull him down and wrestle him to the 45-yard line. Rorman almost lost Troutman, who slams his right hand to the field turf here on Kennison Field in frustration. And the loss ends up being 10, 11, 12, 13 yards when the dust settles on the spot of the ball at the 45. And 4th down at a country mile means Redmond will punt. They will try to flip the field. And Andrew McCaig's job is to kick it in a place where he's going to kick from his own 40, where Deshaun Neal can't get a return and maybe pin Hermiston deep with 8:43 left in the third quarter and the clock spinning. McCaig will kick it away, and Neal's going to get to return it at the 12. Neal makes the first man miss. He's at the 15. Neal breaks another tackle at the 20. 30-yard line, near sideline at the 40. Neal slowing up, waiting for blockers. He'll run out of bounds, giving himself up at the 48-yard line in Redmond territory. Neal saw that he was by himself, and there were about 5 Redmond guys, and he went out of bounds. Some people aren't going to like that. I am fine with that. Limit hits is kind of part of the concept here, going down late. He could have maybe got to the 45. He went out at the 48, but he did the big thing.
What he did, he caught the ball and returned it. He did the right thing. Don't give up that extra 20, 25 yards on the bounce.
There are 4 out to the right side in a diamond setting. Empty backfield for James on 1st down and 10. Throw it to Neal. Neal will catch it. Neal will come to his right and is pulled down from behind by Colt Folston at the 45-yard line. You know what that play was? That play was, hey, let's show you a formation, Pendleton, you haven't seen yet. Because you know what I see out of that? I see a double pass. Deshaun Neal hasn't completed a pass since his sophomore season when he was the starting quarterback for the first half of the year. But he's got the arm still. 2nd and 8, play action, throw to the right side, and out on the wing. It is caught down inside the 40-yard line. Hermiston will matriculate the ball. Keaton McCamey, catch and run. They say to the 38-yard line. And less than a foot to a first down for Hermiston. 7:23 on the clock, first quarter. Bulldogs 48, Panthers 7. Bulldogs a touchdown will put the running clock on. Hand off to Hinkle. Hinkle, jump cut to his left, a big hole. He's at the 30. Makes a man miss at the 20.
Wow.
Far sideline 15. Jonathan Hinkle, as a flag flies out back at the 25-yard line, is all the way down to the 10-yard line. The flag is at the feet of Bo Blake. That wasn't Bo Blake. That was Jonathan Hinkle's jump cut that made that guy lose his shoes and his pants and his shirt like he was Charlie Brown throwing a fastball.
So why did the official move?
Well, let's see. It's holding.
5-yard
Face
face
mask.
mask on the defense. 5 yards will be added to the end of the run. Down.
So 27-yard run by Hinkle. And the 5-yard penalty against Redmond, that really puts them in. But you know what it does is exactly what Hermiston wanted to do. This is one quick rush away from putting this game into the running clock.
48-7, 7 minutes left, and less than that at the snap of the ball. In the backfield, it's Gutierrez to the right of James. Andrew takes a snap, hands off. Gutierrez up the middle. Gutierrez dives forward to the 2-yard line, pulled down by Folston. 2nd down and goal from the 2-yard line coming up for Hermiston. Neal Walshley to the right. Jordan Ramirez to the left. Try Gutierrez again, left side and in. Touchdown, Hermiston. Joey Gutierrez with the 2-yard run, and with 6:20 left in the third quarter, this will trigger the running clock. It's 54-7. The running clock will start once the kickoff is taken after this point after attempt. Neal's missed just once tonight. The righty kicker. With 6:20 left in the third quarter, we'll put it through. 55-7. Let's take a break here on AM 1360 KOHU. (55-7) with 6:20 left in the third quarter. And it will be a running clock once the ball is put in play by Deshaun Neal. Out to the far side, floats to Taylor at the 20. 25, now 30, far sideline. Taylor breaks a tackle, coming back to the near sideline with blockers, hits the 35 and 40. And now finally on his back and riding him to the ground.
Neal.
It is the kicker who makes the stop. Wait, check that.
Yeah, it was Deshaun.
No, it's Jordan walking back here. Jordan Ramirez.
Oh, okay. 33.
So the 40-yard line is where they'll say Taylor's forward progress got him to. And Hermiston's going to start getting some fresh jerseys out there on the field. 2 receiver options to the left for Kamau Troutman in a pistol set. Takes a snap, low snap, fakes a handoff, flings it out to the far sideline, caught by Mortensen. Mortensen spins off of a tackler. Mortensen breaks another tackle. He's across midfield. And to the Hermiston 49-yard line, Mortensen will make it before he's pulled down on that play by Walshley. And he was helped out on that play by Miguel Franco. Under 5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. The clock will spin except for timeouts, injuries, and scores. Just across midfield, Troutman in his crouch around the 45. It's going to be a direct snap to Taylor. Taylor running to the right side. Taylor with some speed bursts into the second level at the 35-30. Taylor down the right hash mark, 10-15, and 10-5, and into the end zone. 49-yard touchdown run for Taylor. Now they say keep running it, which I don't believe is the correct way to assess this, but either way. Taylor's second long touchdown run of the night. He had the 78-yarder in the second quarter. Now a 49-yard. And the point after attempt for Brian Lopez is up and true. And Lopez makes it 55-13 with 3:40 left in the third quarter. We'll take the break on AM 1360 KOHU. Did he miss that?
No, it was good.
No, it was good. Okay. Kick will be pooched to the near sideline and taken at the 20-yard line. Returned up to the 30 and then about the 35-yard line.
Garen Anderson had a heck of a tackle that time.
Garen Anderson tackled Jordan Ramirez.
Wow, that was a hit too. I mean, Garen was trying to do the right thing. He had a block set up for him, but all of a sudden Ramirez juked and
Jordan ran right into him.
Yeah, that's true. But it looked like a good block was set up.
3 minutes left here in the third quarter. Clock is spinning. 55-14 is the score line. Andrew Earl. No, this AJ Tuia right now in at quarterback. He'll turn, handoff. This is Walshley. No, it's Anderson. Excuse me. Garen Anderson. It's going to be an interesting offensive possession. He's got a tackle and now a rush for 3 yards. So AJ Tuia in at the quarterback position. He's been that number 2 guy or that number 3 guy at quarterback since he was a sophomore. I mean, primarily he's been a 3-year starter defensively. But he's always been the guy who could go in there and play QB if you need it. Anderson, no, Tuia's going to keep it running left side. Tuia across the 40, outside the hash marks to the 41-yard line. About a 4-yard run for AJ.
And this is just the time that, because this is a whole new offensive line out there right now, or at least most of them are. Yeah, it's a whole new offensive line out there right now. Watto may be the only one that's out there that's on the normal offensive line.
3rd and 3. Tuia takes a snap. Hands off. It's Anderson running left. Breaks one tackle. Anderson cuts back to his right. And he's tackled from behind, but up to the 45-yard line before he is pulled down by Cody Kluser. And so a first down for Hermiston with 1:20 left in the third quarter. End of the third quarter. Let's take a look through Dan's West Coast Auto Glass scoreboard. Echo 28, Cove 18. 1 quarter to play in that one. 55-14 here with 60 seconds left in quarter 3. Tuia with Anderson to his right. 3 receiver options to the right for Tuia. Slaps his hands together, and he'll keep it again, running right side on the quarterback keeper at midfield. He'll put his shoulder down, and it'll be spun around and down by Tyson Hesta, the outside linebacker.
The nice thing about that is, and you'd like to see him be able to get AJ a rest also because of being dinged up a little bit last week, but they also need to get him a couple of snaps to be able to be ready to do if he has to come in for Andrew.
Final 20 seconds of the third quarter. And Tuia will give it away. Took a while before he did, and Franco ends up maybe a little bit worse for wear on that one because Tuia waited so long before he decided to give it up. But Franco, the senior, takes the run and gets it to the 48-yard line. They'll flip it to the other side of the 50, about 4 yards away. After this break, it's the fourth quarter. Hermiston 55, Redmond 14 on AM 1360 KOHU. We'll start the fourth quarter at Hermiston from the Old West Federal Credit Union broadcast booth. 3rd down and 1, and trouble for the play in the backfield. Tuia tried to give it to Franco, but the problem was the line had let through a handful of different people.
Is that Franco or Salinas that time?
Looks like Franco.
Okay.
And now it looks like Hermiston will punt. And Joey Gutierrez will actually punt this ball away for the first time tonight from his 40-yard line. Colton Mortensen back to receive the kick. High snap, it's over Joey's head. He's got to go back and chase it down. He will come into the near sideline, flings it downfield, and underthrown, incomplete. It'll be a turnover on downs on the failed punt try, and Redmond will have it at the 47-yard line on their side of the 50. A minute into the fourth quarter. 55-14 is the scoreline. Dad's West Coast Auto Glass scoreboard. Sheldon trailing South Medford 24-7 after 3 quarters. That's an interesting 6A scoreline, to say the least. Lebanon 16, South Albany 13 after 3 quarters of play. First down and 10 for Redmond. Elrod is back at quarterback. He'll take a direct snap running to the right side, and the quarterback will barrel his way 2 yards to the 49-yard line, where he is pulled down by Thomas McCullough. After 3 quarters at Henderson Stadium in Hood River, it is a 27-0 lead for the Mountain View Cougars. And 38-8 after 3 quarters, Hepner up on the Stanfield Tigers over in Stanfield. Second down and 8 for the Panthers. Taylor to the right of Elrod. Elrod hands off. Taylor running left. Taylor in trouble. Stuck. Dropped in the backfield. Big loss. And Sergio Rosales is there to lead the way for Hermiston. And down in the stands, you can hear Dad yelling for Checho. Checho menos tres. To the 46. 9:30 left in the ball game. 55-14. Kamau Troutman's back in with Taylor to his left on this 3rd and 11. Troutman takes a high snap. He's looking to throw. He's in trouble. Sack coming. It is a group sack. Troutman becomes a sack lunch for the Bulldogs. McCullough, Rosales, Medina, and Cole Campbell. And Sonny does the stats. He can decide which 2 are going to share that sack. It's a loss of 7. And Redmond will line themselves up to punt with a little more than 3 minutes gone in the 4th quarter. This running clock with the score greater than 45 at one point. The kick is chipped away towards the Hermiston sideline. It'll bounce at the 40 and then be grabbed at the 44-yard line. That's where Hermiston's offense will come out onto the field. It includes Chase Bradshaw, the sophomore. You remember about a month ago, he got pulled up for the first time to the varsity level. He was JV. And he is, as Rick Wells, the offensive line coach, says, he is the presumptive left tackle. It's such a huge position. Sergio Rosales, the junior, he's at center right now. And now we get Andrew Earl at quarterback. First down and 10. Earl will hand off at a big hole up the middle. Going out to the left side. 20, 15, 10. And it was Andrew handing to Peter. And Peter Earl did the hard work. Down to the 12-yard line. Thought for a minute maybe that was somebody else in there, but it was Peter. And now Peter will check out with the ball down around the 12. 7:20 left. At the snap of the ball, it'll be about 7:10 left. Andrew Earl, he's the sophomore. He's the JV starting quarterback. Brings the play in. Franco stands to his left. From the 12, hand to Franco. Franco running right. Franco will barrel over one tackler and drag Crivelloni to the 6-yard line. 6-yard gain on the play.
Number 26, Miguel Franco on the carry. Down inside the 10 to the 6.
Garrett Anderson now switches in with Franco at running back. Earl's got 2 receiver options each way. No tight ends, no H-backs on this play. Hand to Anderson. Anderson running left. Anderson into the end zone. And it is this senior's first touchdown of his varsity career with 6:17 on the clock in the 4th quarter. 61-14 is now the score.
A nice job that time by Garrett Anderson going ahead and finding the left hip of his left guard and following that good push on up into the end zone. And that's good. This is good experience for this secondary group of the Hermiston Bulldogs line, because we've only seen mostly all the starters here for all year long. It's just nice seeing these guys getting a little bit of a breakout here.
Now, when it comes to special teams, this is still the number ones. Rorman to snap, Tuya to hold, Neal to kick. The kick is up, and it is through. 5:28 left in the fourth quarter, and it is a 62-14. We'll be back after this on AM 1360 KOHU.
Couple of announcements to the choir. Big raffle winners, Mike Jones and Don Martin. Harvey, you claim your pick.
All those people down there. Hey, Sydney, if you can hear me, can you hit that legal ID since it's 9 o'clock coming out of this commercial break? Just the 2-second one. AM 1360 KOHU Hermiston. Eric Olson and Suddy Leby with you on your hometown radio station. Tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., the KOHU Fall Radio Auction. The items are listed right now on GoHermiston.com. Deshaun Neal to kick it away. 5:24 left in the fourth quarter. 62-14. Taylor takes it at the 20. Taylor at the 30 comes to his left. Taylor at the 35 is pulled down. And reaching in there, it was Cole Campbell who got his arms onto Taylor, and he was helped out on the tackle by Gavin Tarvin. Tarvin's got a handful of tackles this season. 3 to be exact. So not a full hand, but, you know, a few. Switch at the cornerback. Trent Pitney will come on for the younger Walshley. Garrett steps off for this play. McCullough, Rosales, Bradshaw on the defensive line. As Elrod is in the quarterback position. Elrod running right. Elrod will get across the 40 and into the middle of the field. He works himself, where he's pulled down by Arnold and Walshley. Out there at another cornerback position is Guiomar Garay. So Pitney and Garay at the cornerbacks. Garrett Walshley playing free safety right now. Your Superman is Salinas. 2nd and 3. Elrod again running right. Elrod out to the edge. Got around Pitney across midfield. And he's shoved out of bounds over on his sideline around the 43. The stop made by Garay.
They're saying it was Tyler Rorman. I didn't.
Rorman is not on the field currently. Nathan Wheeler was in the vicinity, but I have the benefit of binoculars. It was Garay who made the contact.
That's what I was going to say. It looked like that from out here, but.
First down and 10 from the 43. Elrod with Taylor behind him. Take a high snap, play action, roll out to the right. Elrod to throw. Way downfield, wobbly ball will flutter out of bounds. Incomplete.
Second and 10.
Under 3 minutes left here. Sorry, Sonny.
Garay for a hurry that time. Got right in the breadbasket of Elrod when he was trying to throw it. And good job by the young Hermiston player.
62-14 with 2:40 left. Clock is spinning. High snap pulled down. Elrod will hand off. And for the first time tonight, we see a carry for Colt Folston. The sophomore running back makes his way down to the, looks like the 40, no, the 38 is where they're going to get him to. And the tackle on the play was made by Tyson Salinas. Third down. 6 to go for Redmond. 2:10 left. Elrod moves Folston to his left shoulder. The senior quarterback barks signals, takes a snap. He's going to run himself behind Folston blocking, and he'll run into the pile. Short of the 35-yard line, short of what they needed for the first down. And in there for Hermiston on the stop, Bradshaw along with Sean Stewart, a sophomore defensive lineman who wears number 50. Fourth down and 3 for Redmond. 90 seconds remaining. And does Redmond want to take a timeout? They will. They will stop the clock with 1:20 left in the fourth quarter. 62-14. A fourth down and 3 facing them. And for Gene Dale's team, the first-year head coach, he's been with the program. He was Nathan Stanley's defensive coordinator for 4 seasons before that. He knew, when I talked to him yesterday, I mean, it's not a secret. Your team's 1-6. You're not going to sugarcoat things. But he wanted to say, one of the big things is they've been getting better. They got that win against Hood River. They've continued to improve. Kamau Troutman has been able to do some nice things on the field for them once he got onto the field. It was a rough first month of the year trying to get him out onto the field, and no fault of his own. Fourth down and 3 for this Redmond team. They're looking to convert a first down. From the Hermiston 35, Clayton Elrod. And Elrod's going to get the first down on a hard count. Hermiston had the right side of their defensive line jump. And wait. Now the umpire's gotten into the fray. Honestly, just give it to him. 5 yards forward to the 30. It'll move the chains. Penalties haven't been a problem for either team tonight. Really.
Now 2 for Redmond and only 4 for Hermiston.
First down and 10 now. From the 30. Elrod will run to the left side. Pulled down from behind. What closing speed for Thomas McCullough. And for Hermiston, how great is it to see McCullough healthy and back out there on the field? He was probably going to be one of the starters at defensive end, but he missed a little more than a month of this season with injury. And you can just see how quick he is at a defensive end position.
Yeah, that is good. That is good news, seeing him coming back, especially as hard as he's worked to come back from the injury that he had. A deep bruise into the hip area, I do believe it was, Eric.
Second down and a 10 from the 30. High snap. Elrod again is going to run it himself. A flag out as Elrod is pulled down at the 25-yard line. It was Arnold who got the tackle. 30 seconds left. I don't know, after they call in this penalty, I don't know if there's going to be enough time to run another play unless Redmond wants to use another one of their timeouts.
No, it's done. They haven't even got the decision on what the penalty is.
Long conversation. Personal foul on Redmond.
He's been ejected. 15-yard penalty into the run.
That is significant because, and I didn't hear who it was, but somebody for Redmond just got ejected on what will be the last play of the game. And why that is significant is because he is, if that's going to stand, he will not be eligible to play next week against Ridgeview. 62-14 is the final score.